I'm the community manager of Gonka, and today I'm joined by two core members of the project, David and Gleb. Thank you for joining on such a short notice.
Thank you for organizing this.
Pleasure is all mine. Equally, I would like to thank all of the community members who took time to actually write their questions in the specially dedicated thread. Based on those questions, I managed to sequence 5 core questions that we will try to cover today on this session. And in case if there will be anything that we will not mention, or if you will have any feedback, that's why we have the chat. And we will be very happy to take any feedback that you will have, as both of my guests are presented here. So, should we jump into it? There are quite a lot.
Yes, let's do.
Right, so the first question is coming from one of the users, and the concern there is that the current data shows that the models of the smaller size are actually producing much more tokens than the models of the bigger size. Okay, here's someone.
Is it like, in terms of question? Or...
Yes, that should be it. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So I think that probably, and it will be related to most of the questions and in general to discussion which we have right now here, is that when we all look at Gonka, we, like, at least I am amazed to the journey which we all had just in this last a little bit less than 5 months. So even though the project is in its early days, but the community which was built around it, and the contribution which everyone made is enormous, which showed that actually we do have a chance to make this change in the world. So what's important that when we only started, it was just 8 participants. They were the bravest ones. Early participants, just 60 GPUs connected to the network. Now we are, I think that to date we're around like 10,000 if we measure it in each 100 equivalents. So, and the vision of this network also, when you hear any answer for the future questions, that the original vision for this network is to build a network which will bring the community together, which will be able to build infrastructure, which will be comparable and even more powerful than what current frontier labs or major clouds have. And from this perspective, we like still in a really early days. And when we as a community make a decision, and I should say that any change which happens through this in this network happen only through the community decision. So when we consider any change in setting the adjustments to the rules, we all should have this goal in mind: how we get to millions of GPUs. And what we see is that with if we compare small models and large models, when we count AI tokens of small models, is much less of the compute. So the same amount of AI tokens, but for a larger model, is require much more efforts from the compute in the network. And originally, when this network was designed, and when this idea that we have POCs, which are spikes, which are the sprints, and in the rest of the time, network is loaded with the requests, we all should kind of see like what kind of requests can load 10,000 GPUs. And when developers use our API, when they request completion request, the inference from the servers, when they use large models, they do consume some significant capacity, some significant amount of compute in the network. When they request smaller models, we need to have like dozens of more EA tokens and smaller models to justify the compute, to occupy the compute. And at the same time, this amount of data will create enormous pressure to the network. So when we have vision in mind that that this network inspired to be millions of GPUs, we all should accept that complexity and difficulty will grow over time. So the network grew more than 200 times since it was launched, and the growth of the complexity is overdue. We really think that it was right thing to do to start with the smaller models, to start with the last of the requirements. But if like those people who would vote for this change, I think that what they will have in mind that what kind of difficulty network should have and how it should grow over time, so that we can achieve large results. So in every token, so for example, every token from DeepSeek model is much more than every token from AI token, I mean, from 235B Quen model. And this is much more than the tokens from 32B model. And in general, what we should consider when we look at this network, that the difficulty should grow. If the difficulty, as soon as difficulty growth will stop, likely the growth of the network will stop. And if the growth of the network will stop, we will not achieve the goal which we all have with this project. And this will get to us to the point when the also requirement for hardware will grow. And that's what we should all wait with is some positive change, because every time when we will have this in the network, it means that the network grow. And if the network grows, that's why all your contribution mean more, and it will get results for each of the participants much higher than if we just will stagnate as a network and will not grow further.
Thank you so much for a detailed answer. I wanted to ask if Gleb has anything to add to that.
I think no. On this part, no. It's on everything.
All right. So yeah, I believe it's a very fair point that the inevitability of the hardware will continue to become more complex, and that's not something that sadly or happily we control, but it's rather something the way how the market grows itself. In that case, let's jump to the second question that has a rather scary word, rug pull, in it, and it addresses the potential ability from our side to create something like a 2-month whitelist or grace period for the users that rented or now currently are under the contracts, long-term contracts with some rental of the GPUs that are currently potentially would be outdated and delisted.
Do you want to start or?
No, you can start.
Okay. So I think that in general, the answer it's similar, but I will try to look at this from a little bit different perspective. I expect that most of the community do want this network to change and do want this network to grow. And from this perspective, we all should expect that things will change. These things will change only through voting of the community. So we can be sure that nothing which is damaging to the community, damaging to the network would happen. But the things will change. Similarly, when Ethereum switched from proof of work to proof of stake model, it affected some of the miners which were participating with the hardware. But it was a right decision to make for this particular project because the proof of work parts in Ethereum haven't played much of the role, and it was limiting the project and its further growth. In our case, we all should expect that the difficulty will grow, and that the difficulty will grow together with the growth of the network. If we would be at the same 100 GPUs as we were in five months ago, for sure there was won't be any discussions to make the change. But when the growth of 200 times happens through 2 months, 5 months, we all should expect that the things will change also fast, and that some of the long-term commitments and things like that can be not ideal from this perspective. And none of us know how fast the network will grow. So if in a month from now or a couple months from now, we already will be 100,000 GPUs in the network, some changes will have to be made, and these changes will be crucial for the network. But it also will mean that the value of the entire network will grow. So it means that any contribution which we did before, in any reward which you did before, will mean even more. So for us, this is similar to discussions which we had with multiple miners when they experience this growth. Because from one perspective, growth is a bad thing. Yes, you get less rewards per your GPUs. So people who mined in October, they got much higher reward per GPU. So from one perspective, it's a bad news that the network grew and the overall difficulty of the network grew because you get less, smaller share of the rewards for the same hardware. But it's actually not the bad news. It's a good news because the growth of the network, that's what increase its value. That's what we all aspired to build here. And from this perspective, things can change. And with some changes, it's just really complicated to implement and to create the balance between all players so that all participants in the network will be satisfied and no one affected. And from this perspective, what you can definitely do, if you're an engineer, start contributing more in the project itself, so that you will have an ability to also propose some changes which will be both allowing the network to grow, allowing the network to scale, and to have additional balance towards the all players in the community. What we see, like with the proposal which we made, we tried to find the balance and to find the thing which will be accepted by big portion of the community and big portion of the contributors, but we will never be able to propose solutions which will ideally work for everyone. And the only way any proposal network, whether it's made by us or made by anyone else, will pass if the majority of the community will support that.
I would also add what is the motivation of changing exactly this limitation on the POC model itself, that it allows to future growth in the way that security is, with a quite simple step, becoming much higher, and chain will spend much less resources on verification of results from nonces from small nodes. And so it's not like hard limitation that if your hardware, you have really small GPU, you cannot participate at all. So if you can deploy the same size model, if you can deploy Queen 2, 3, 5, you can still generate nonce. So the requirements is on the model itself.
Also, still, what you can look at, a little bit before the network was launched, and as I mentioned, was like first 8 participants which are in Genesis. You all can see them. They recorded in GitHub. Even at that moment, difficulty was adjusted in the very like beginning of the project. The memory difficulty was adjusted twice. And one of the participants, 6 blocks, some of the equipment which they prepared for Genesis and for mainnet launch weren't working anymore. So it's even in the history of the project. So that this is what we all should expect. That the difficulty will grow. Like when you pick any strategy of how you participate, you need to expect that. For sure, if the network will grow slowly, all of us will have much more time to react and to adjust. We personally haven't expected that fast and explosive growth, and we thought that the network will have more time and more time for discussions to make right decisions for the change and to work on the consensus in a more gradual way. But when the network grows so fast, unfortunately, the decisions need to be faster as well.
I just wanted to add that we reached the limit of the call, and there's more than 100 people currently. So it's indeed beautiful that the session would be recorded and is recorded and would be available to everyone afterwards. And yeah, huge success. I'm very happy that the topic resonates with the audience, and we'll make sure that it will become available online as soon as possible. In that case, let's jump to the next question. It's more of a technical one. There was quite a lot of confusion around the immediate sprint activation, and quite several users requested information on how exactly, in plain English, that would be implemented, and what to expect from the user side, and how the things will change for them.
Yes, so for miners, there won't be much of the change in terms of experience. You know that we currently have these two separate models when you do inference and when you do POC. There was some beauty in this solution. I should say, I still think that it was a quite beautiful thing. But at the same time, it created a lot of issues, which not always, in quite frequently, weren't connected to even to the software which we implemented, because the switching between models create a lot of issues with GPUs, with NVIDIA drivers, or like in things like that, which required us to make a lot of like patches around the switch, and the switch started to be too lagging and too slow. And because of that, this created the need to have a larger delay between the moment when the POC should have been started and the moment when everyone, all the participants are ready. And from this perspective, with POC, it's really important to be instant. This is like a sprint. Like as soon as you hear the shot, you need to run. So this is the experience which should be there, so that we all sure that this process is secure. When we have this switch between the models, when we have this patches around the switch because of the issues with drivers of NVIDIA, which we didn't want also anyone honest to be punished. Yeah, so we always have this balance, like we need to create the system where just because of the hardware mistake, you won't be punished, but at the same time, we want the system to be secure. And this balance is it's pretty tricky. You also the cases, like random cases, when some participants weren't receiving rewards because of they were punished, even though they tried hard to be honest. And in that situation, in finding this balance, so that we have fewer people every epoch who were punished this way, and because it's random, is part of the journey of all of us, that we experience some epochs when we won't get the rewards. But it's okay when it's small, but it can be a large number, so that eventually, like through time, you get your share of rewards. But that's created this bad balance, like trade-off between security and this notion of not doing harm to honest participants, that the switch started to be too laggy and too slow. In the ability to make POC instant, and what we see is that if we use this, the same model which we use for inference, it can be really instant. There is no any luck in this, and we don't have issues with the drivers of NVIDIA, which we saw with the switch model. Gleb, probably you can add something to that.
Yes, I would actually start with answering to question from chat on this topic. Yeah.
Thank you.
We have now prototype which starting POC immediately. Like it requires less than 5 seconds, just couple seconds to get first batch of nonces verified. And their question now at the start of POC, transformer is filled with random weights. When new model will be used, what weight will be used? Will be refilled with random weights or not? Continuing question. If not, it's significant change in white paper and looks like it should be audited first. It would be the significant change, but we leave the same idea of randomization, but not for the full model weights. So model is the real original model with trained weights, but full input to the model, not only tokens, but all embedding layer of the model is also randomly produced from the block hash in the same manner like it works now. So block hash plus pub key. And then we have many layers of randomization at the inference phase. And this randomization also depends on the current phase of the network. But the main weights of the model itself stays the same, real model, still in memory. So the system don't spend time on regenerating these weights, but instead of this, just making additional randomization in many, many places during the inference. So it's because of that, the idea is still the same like in the additional POC, that every time it's unique randomization with quite a lot of random weights, but we just change the place where this randomization happens. And also there is question related that right now the 10% of small ML nodes every POC often stays like preserved nodes. So we have this preserved node who serves inference during POC. And their system is not great right now because these ML nodes are quite often the same. There is randomization with them, but it's not working great. And the new system, which we right now proposing, will allow to, in the nearest future, to get rid of these preserved nodes at all. Because as right now, the POC happens in the same VLM engine with the real model, it will be able to, in parallel, check nonces and answer to inference requests from user. So, and this process can be without changing phase, without switching from one mode to another. Every GPU will be able to work in parallel on different tasks. So in longer term perspective, so it allows us to get rid of this confirmation POC like we have it right now, and do such confirmation continuously through the whole epoch. So everyone can just, if there is no enough real load on chain, they will have to generate this nonces and do this artificial load. And if there's real inference request, the required load will be just decreased according to the real users' completion requests. So this approach allows us to automatically balance it.
Do you see anyone saying anything in the chat? I think that you managed to cover it. At least not yet. I'm seeing any. I'm sorry, everything is lagging extremely. The amount of people that are connected to the call are just destroying my notebook. 1 second. Yeah. Finally, to expect the whitelist to be lifted in time, or would it be extended for another week? That's the last question that just was raised by the community member.
So the the whitelist itself, it was really, I would say, the hardest proposal which was made through the last months. It would be, I think that personally we invest all our attention in time to make sure that it won't be prolonged, so that the minimal changes which were is required to move forward are ready before that, so that we can move forward without significant issues. It still is a balance because we will propose the PR for review of the community pretty soon, and if the review will go smoothly, then likely it will not be prolonged. The only issue which I see, if some members of community will see some significant issues in the PR, in this case, we will need to propose the prolongation. But I hope that it will not happen. And yeah.
I would also mention, if we will go to the route of proposing prolongation, we will probably align with community some certain steps which will be done during this prolongation. For example, if it will be some longer switch from one security model to the next iteration or something like that. But the proposal and the PR for review will be definitely opened before the end of this whitelist. If you don't mind, I would jump to chat and answer one more question, because I think it's quite important to answer it. So the question: are you planning to have more models that, for example, will generate images? If yes, then won't it require again to have different model loads during POC? That's quite important step. That's quite important point, that we are not going to limit the chain to have only this Queen 235 model in long term. We propose to set this model as a single one for POC, only temporary, and the idea is definitely to support more models in the nearest future. And how exactly it will work, it will be up to community for sure, but there's one model in our mind, that it will be just different groups of POC computation for different models, and they will generate weight independently in each group, and it will be consensus how to align this weight and how to compute final weight. I think this idea in general has quite a lot of tricky places and decision to make, and we will definitely propose our vision how new models will be added after we make this first step to guarantee security now. But the answer is, yeah, we definitely want to support more models, and really soon.
Moreover, what I want to add, that still in this community, people participate in a different way. So some people mine, some people just support and discuss it in Discord community. Some people contribute in terms of the code which need to be added to improve functionality of the network. So the good part is that we are growing from all of these three parts. We currently several teams already joined to independent people joined to contribute to the source code of the network. And every model, when we think about it, when we think about adding it, will require some additional work. At least, like when we have image models or video models, we need to set the process to verify these models and verify the work of these models. In terms of adding new models, for last month, this was a bottleneck. Now we have at least 2 teams independent who contribute to the project, who inspired to get bounty rewards from the community pool. And this process can be accelerated through this through that. If you're a developer who wants to use some model, like for example, you know that it will be game changer for your business if your cost for this inference of this model will greatly affect your business. It is a good opportunity for you to contribute to the protocol itself. So reach out to other people who participate in development, propose your contribution. There will be a discussion of what is needed to verify these models, and this will happen faster. As Gleb mentioned, if you don't contribute, it will happen, but it will happen slower. But if you have particular vision that this model is needed for your particular business and it can help your particular business, there is an opportunity to contribute. Just reach out. There is a special channel for bounty rewards, and describes that you would want to work on this problem. Some members of the community will describe you the full scope of the problem, like what should be solved to add this model, and it will be added much faster to the network if you will have this initiative.
To be even more clear about how hard it to add another models. So with adding another language model, it's already pretty simple procedure right now. But the changing to another modality, it's what that requires this additional step, which David just mentioned.
Yeah, but modality also, like for example, many developers who reach out to us want to have the latest DeepSeek in the network. And this kind of obvious thing, like if you look at OpenRouter, it's one of the it's the top model in terms of open-weighted models used by developers. But to support new DeepSeek, new VVLM should be the new version of VVLM should be presented to the project. And this was delayed for some time. But now in December, one of the independent contributors joined this effort. Say I will update the VLM. The community of developers discussed of what should be done, what are the challenges there, and they took over this task, and it's almost ready to be released. So this kind of change, when adding some models, it's easy. If it's the same VLM, if it's the same model, there is a process of how to measure thresholds and to add. But we should expect, and that's what's also important. As I mentioned in the previous questions, we all should expect that this network will evolve. So when we thought about what should be the minimum amount of things in the network for it to kickstart, the upgrades were there. Even though it sounds that upgrades is already usually only mature projects have the upgrades. But when we build AI network, upgrades are inherently important things. That's why inherently important for all of you to participate in votes. When you see the message that the new upgrade is coming, please vote. It's important contribution of yours. And because we all should expect that the network should upgrade. And now when the value of network grew and we have the community pool, we actually have a lot of power to bring more and more developers as well, who will contribute to the protocol, and who will allow this upgrades happen even more frequently. Because we should expect that this will be a normal thing, that like for foreseeable future, the network will be upgradable. We should add this new functionality. The frameworks like VLM, they improve like every half a year. A new version is there, so like we need to adjust if we want to have the latest models, and usually everyone wants to have the latest ones because they are like more powerful in nature. So that's why upgrades were like there from the very first day, because yes, we have the main concept, we have the community, but then the community like inspired by what it can be built on top of that, and like what is possible to add. And some of this will require changes to the code. So yes, please join, please contribute. It's really important. Every contribution like that matter. You already seen in the latest upgrades that some contributions were merged and people got the rewards based on that. If you believe in this project, this is definitely another way to contribute, not only to mine.
Thank you very much, David. And I think that's the conclusion of yours, kind of covering the last question from the chat, that the best way of joining the bounty program, of contributing to the project, is also not to mine, but to join the bounty program.
Please mine, and please, yes, please join bounty program. If you're a developer, if you think that you can contribute, it's a really important part of this project.
And also the simplest way to, like, the most straightforward way to contribute is just actively review all PRs, and for contributing to PRs, for finding bugs before it's on chain. It should be rewarded, and it's really quite valuable for security of the chain to review all PRs. Which
yes, every upgrade, has a PR, which usually distributed through all the channels. And in this PR, we'll have a reward attached to it, to people who participated in the review, because we know that review takes time, especially if you like really careful in finding the issues. And we saw that some upgrades can bring the issues to the network. We all saw that. So yes, this is even like simpler computation, and also if you're a developer, it will allow you to kind of get into the understanding of how it works, and faster if you will participate in these reviews as well.
Thank you deeply for that. And I believe that since Gleb managed to cover the question around the video, audio, and all of the other learning model support in the future in his previous statement, I think that we can conclude with the final question that I prepared, which is focused around centralization and the fear from the side of the community that we will rather have 100 very big participants rather than we will have a diversity of them in the future. And the direct question is that if Gonka ends up being 100 extra large participants, why would anyone use it over the AWS or anything else of this sort?
Yes, so there are a couple things to that. First of all, if you participate in mining, there are multiple ways to participate, not all of them as costly as it was discussed in the group. First of all, you can participate through the pool. And it is beautiful. Like, be careful, like make your due diligence, whether the pool is legit or not is definitely on you. We cannot recommend you any pool. But it's beautiful that that this whole ecosystem grew in. We see many great participants who actually gather together multiple members and in joint forces to mine. This can allow and already allows smaller contributors to participate. Another thing which is important that and this was part of design, it's rarely used. Like what we see that everyone like went big, like in terms of their participation. That if the budget to like continuously participate will be too high for you, there's always a way to participate one epoch. Like if you will calculate, like people calculate that you need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to participate. If you actually will calculate like just one epoch, like what is the cost of one epoch with the requirements which will be increased, it's not as high of a barrier. In you like some participate this day, some participate another day, and then if hundreds of thousands of people participate, but they participate with this smaller contributions, we'll have a super large network with high capacity every day. So that's why, like for example, in Bittensor, you need to minimally participate 7 days before you get any rewards. In like for example, in Chutas. So in our case, it's just 1 day, and in this create the entry barrier like is really low. Like I would disagree that this is a quite high barrier to set. So because of these two things, we don't see that that it should lead to too much of the concentration. But we all should, for sure, we all should follow, and we all should. This is another contribution which one can make. That the biggest barrier right now for smaller players is not the cost, because I mentioned you can rent this equipment for 1 day, like 24 hours, and you earn. It's not big of a barrier. The biggest barrier which we see that running Node is not as simple and it's not only about our projects. Try to run Ethereum node or try to run Bitcoin node. It's not as simple in general. Personally, we tried to contribute a lot in making it simpler and simpler. You saw like video of Gleb personally recording the video, like how you can actually do it like right now using like one of the cloud providers. Everyone can follow this particular instruction, and if you follow, it will work. Unfortunately, it's hard to follow, and like some people do some changes in the process, and then everything broke. So this is where you can contribute. So pools, that's what they do. They make this process simple for you. You send the money, and they do it for you. But this is actually also create some concentration of power, because then they vote for you instead you voting for decisions. So any contribution to make this process simpler, like one-click type of solution, when everyone can install their own node and think like, please contribute, please share it with the community. And this will be the biggest contribution toward ensuring our safety and decentralization, that make this one-click button to work with different providers, so that it will be random. Like this node will be on AWS, this node will be Nubius, this node will be the G-Core. So think like that. This will be the biggest contribution towards the decentralization, which will allow people to just rent the equipment for just a day or 2 days or 7 days, depending on their budget which they want to contribute. So unfortunately, like personally, we haven't, I haven't found enough time to invest in time in terms of bringing such tools for the community. But community right now is so powerful. Like 10,000 people, definitely there are people out there who can contribute in this way, and this will be the biggest contribution. Not the fact that someone can rent like 5 years old equipment, or just equipment which cannot run the biggest models. No, the decentralization should come from making this process easier. And each of you can contribute in that. And if we will make it as easy as one click of a button and you have this equipment participate, that's what can allow us to ensure that the network is decentralized. I also, like, if it's last question, I also want to add probably the thing, like, I got these questions multiple times, and I think that's also what's important to state. You likely, if you participated in other projects like that, many use this route when they run testnet for many years, like at least for a year or like many years, and only then switch to the mainnet. This process, even though it allows to fix more bugs and to work out some issues, this process have a significant gray zone, which we personally decided not to touch. The gray zone that you either don't have anyone participating in the testnet, so most of the issues cannot be unveiled. Yes, so most of the issues which we saw in the Gonka network, they were revealed only when the network got to thousands of GPUs. Like on the smaller amount of GPUs, none of these issues were visible. So it's either testnet is meaningless, meaning that few people participate, or these projects make a promise which is illegal to make. The promise that those people who participate in the mining in testnet, they will get some coins in the future. We are based in the United States. From perspective of US regulators, is definitely a thing which no one should do, any promise like that. So from this perspective, we saw that the only real opportunity is to launch the network, make it independent from, like, make it that every decision is made already not by us. You don't even like imagine how many people claim to us that it will never work. Like people will not vote for the needed changes in things like that. But we had the hope that that yes, we gave up the right to control, and we gave it up like in the very beginning, as soon as we launched. It's already weren't controlled by us. But we had the belief that this is what should be done. Like only in this way, this project can be clean from the regulator's perspective, so that this coin can be used by developers in the United States as well. Otherwise, it will be blocked and it won't be tradable for many years. And at the same time, what we see that this decision to make it independent from us, that's what makes this project so powerful. This does create some issues, like in Ethereum, the process of getting into consensus of any change is a pretty hard problem. And we see that to reach the required thresholds to vote, it's already in some cases an issue, especially if we discuss some controversial changes. But this was what was important to do, and that's why, yes, this network does have some issues, and yes, all of us together need to make sure that when these issues are emerged, we all fix them. But that's what makes these projects powerful, and that's what give us a chance to actually build infrastructure which will belong to humanity. So I hope all participants understand this, that the issues will be there. The issues were early in Bitcoin. Solana had 15 consensus failures in the first years when it started. So if you participate, you should expect at this stage, you should expect that this will be there, and this is part of your responsibility. Together with us, together with the community, it's all of us responsibility to make things right and to improve the network and to make the right decisions so that network can scale to a larger size. So I hope that this also allowed to set the tone for the future conversations like that, and I hope that you all will participate more rigorously in the voting process. I know that right now it's set on 24 hours. We discuss a lot with the members of communities that probably we need to vote to increase the timing of the vote to at least like 96 hours, so that people will be easier to participate for everyone. But it's also short, because we all saw that some decisions were really important to make fast. So we need to ensure that we don't have such issues first before we will increase this voting threshold. So yes, please participate in votes. Like, every vote count. Even if you disagree, it's great. Wait now, so that communities see that there is an issue with such changes. So yes, please participate. It's really important. This project, if it will stop in terms of upgrades, we won't be able to get to the place we're all inspired this project to be. Something with Mike? Gleb? You sounds like a robot right now.
Yeah. So I also would like to add that we actually merging together two quite complex technology, AI and blockchain. And as David already mentioned today, that VLM, one of the biggest inference engine, but it's upgrading quite often. But we definitely want in the future to use not only this inference engine to support all top-level models with best performance. And we will have to have the frequency of upgrade much higher than in most blockchain projects. And we will have to have designed some ways to upgrade only certain part of system, but not upgrade another part of system. And we will have a lot of such things. And that makes this participating of upgrade even more important, because we just have to be better than many another big decentralized project in terms of upgrades. We have to run fast here. Yeah.
All right, so I can see that the floor questions slowly died off in the chat. And as I mentioned during the session several times, first time we reached the limits of the sharing screen voice channel on the Discord, and that will be fixed. However, nonetheless, in the meantime, the video will be available in the library, hopefully tomorrow, and I will be the one to announce the news. And in case if you have any other questions, we're here for you. You have host chat, you have host support, and everything should be addressed publicly so you can get as many opinions as it is possible. As soon as I will know the date of the bridge, I will let you know. It will be 2 of us max, but right now, sadly, it's not the case.
Yes, let me probably comment on the bridge. So you'll see that is there. There are 2 things which are right now happening. That one is that we getting through audit of the bridge by an independent firm, so that well, sure, because this is a thing which we will not be able to fix, and most of the projects and most of the hacks which happened in crypto field were around bridges, and this is which makes us personally like super nervous in terms of voting for the bridge. It's just the stakes are like too high. We don't want anyone to lose money because of some issue with the bridge. So one is that the audit is happening, and unfortunately they are not as fast as it's like we cannot control them and like how fast they will do that. So this is one of the issue which delays us. Secondly, then when network had all this turbulence last weeks, like our personally like anxiety level in terms of activating the bridge only increased. So because bridge requires for every epoch to generate particular key which is accepted by Ethereum chain. Without it, there is an issue. I personally even thought that maybe we need to activate the bridge, but ask everyone not to use it, but only for test purpose, so that we all like see that everything works. We might do it soon, but only for testing purpose, because we all need to get this seal of approval from independent audit firms that the bridge is safe before using this. So even if you will see some votes happening soon around this subject, please pay attention to any disclosure that this is for tests and things like that, because this is something which we all inspire to have. Like the functionality for the bridge is there. It just we all need to be careful. This is nothing which we all will be able to control. This will happen on Ethereum chain, and if something is wrong there, like we will not be able to fix it or do something with it. So it's just also how you can contribute. If you're a developer, look at the bridge. Like send us.
We already got a couple quite impactful reports of a bounty program about breach, about BLS signature. Yeah, so thank you for
So
that.
we already, I guess, we got a couple significant issues discovered by the community members in terms of the current breach. So even if you read it through, haven't found the issue, write something about this. It's also important information that more people reviewed and everything is clear and safe. So I think that we need to have more of community involvement for this to happen. And we all want this breach to be there. It will be important step for the project. So please contribute in this way. If you're an engineer, please contribute. If you're a miner, and especially if you're a significant miner, invest resources to have developers who contribute to the project. And if a developer contributes, there is a bounty program. You will be rewarded from community pool. The community pool is quite wealthy from this regard. We should use, all of us, we should use it more rather than less, because definitely more changes will make project even better. So yes, this is definitely initial timing, unfortunately not dependent so much right now from people who build the breach, rather than that we all need to ensure that it's secure before we'll use it.
The question is if the bounty program is currently only for the developers and influencers and others are outside of the sequence. I would say yes, at the point where we are, the bounty program currently is focused mainly on the developers.
One thing to it, there is no rules set in stones. So
limit is the sky. Okay.
So if you see a great potential, post about it, discuss it with the community. So bring support of the community. If you think that it's easy for us to make a proposal, no, this is easy. We try to always think about where the consensus to be found and things like that. For sure, if you will just come and say pay me, this is likely will be skeptically accepted by the community, and it will be really hard to gather the vote. But if you see a greater strategy which you want to bring to the community, in community can accept it, maybe you will get this this grant, and then you will attract the influencers, and it will go forward. So don't limit yourself for sure to what is described, but when you propose something, think about it whether all these random people who don't know you will think that it's a good idea to accept and to fund. And it may be the case that it is. So don't limit yourself from that. But from another perspective, be mindful. If you will just spam the community, and community will not find it convincing, if you know that you can bring more attention and things like that, describe your profile, share your LinkedIn page, to show that you actually the expert in this field, and that you actually bring these influencers to the Discord to show that they are there and that they can bring some value and things like that. So imagine that you have all these decisions makers, 10,000 decision makers, in this Discord chat, in these channels. All of them are there. We know for sure. We send the proposals and to these channels, and people then vote. So we know that all of the people there, and they read the Discord. And so especially if you attract some significant members of the community, it also can increase the visibility if they will reshare what you propose and things like that. But these proposals should be thought over. They shouldn't be here we are, we're greatest, pay us $1 million JNK. It will likely not work, not because we will not like it, but just we don't have we are not the majority of votes, but because people likely will not support you. So support your case in it not necessarily should be limited to developers. It's just with developers, when someone finds a bug, it's really easy to get the consensus that this bug should be fixed. I'm sure that someone can make a difference. Like, for example, some times ago we met with the Soul Publishing. It's a firm which ran like 3 billion followers type of network on YouTube, and they were the ones who were creating and running YouTube channel for Tone Foundation and for Hamster Game. So they had a pretty large experience on bringing the audience to project like that. So we asked them to, like, can you go to our Discord and propose some actions around that? So it is possible that the initiatives like that can be funded by the community if it's rational for the community, if it will allow the network to grow faster, and if it's will allow coin to be more valuable. Why people will disagree with you? But imagine that they all don't know you, and you need to build this reputation. You need to make a case, and I'm pretty sure that if the case is good, like, people will support it. One disclosure here, and some people reach out to us to endorse some of the activity. Unfortunately, right now we cannot endorse pools, even though it's really beautiful that they emerged. It really is. Like, we personally, we really grateful for all this all this contribution of the community. It just, we personally are not allowed to endorse pools. We also cannot endorse anything connected to trading. It is so beautiful that it's emerged. The community already created these tools. We're pretty grateful for everyone who did this. And it is really hard without our endorsement to build a reputation within the community. It will require more efforts from you. But what we see, the people who made the efforts, who created the pool, who created OTCs, they built a great business around that. So it's a really great opportunity. If you believe in the ecosystem, any investment like that from your site in terms of time can pay out. But it's just our limitation. We cannot endorse things like that. We cannot endorse the explorers. Still, people found out how to fund these explorers, and like most of the explorers which are right now used by the community are 100% independently developed by different members of the community. So I understand that some of your contributions can be easier to make if you get some endorsement from like original creators of the protocol. But we, as the creators, were also limited to what we can do. So I'm really sorry that in some cases we cannot directly support. But we will, as one of the members of the community, we will, like, if it's rational, we will support as the members, like as each of you. Like, we will support it as the members of the community. We will not do public statements, but we will support it. But in general, like, I'm pretty sure that if you will offer something which will make this network greater, it will be irrational to vote no. So I hope that this additional disclosure helped, and I hope that some initiatives will emerge from that. And we all building this together. Like, this network will not exist without your contribution, without your attention, without your time invested in making this project greater. None of our proposals would go through if it's not supported by the community. The same with any other proposal in the community. It's set for vote. People should vote for that. And it is harder, but this was what makes this project beautiful. So I would never, like, knowing how hard it is to push the even upgrades with security fixes, I would never revert my choice in the very beginning to give up this right to make this decision and to give this right for you. Because I believe that you all participate because of that, because you all feel that you're part of this process, you're part of this community, and your contribution matters. So please participate.
And vote.
And vote, yes.
Thank you very much. It's the longest AMA session on my counting. I deeply appreciate that you gave me so much of your time. All of those who are here, please remember that the session will be shortly published as a file in the library. And yes, I believe that we will continue to get the feedback from the community in real time, especially after the session. And I wish a fantastic day both to you, David, and to you, Gleb, and speak to you soon. And I thank everyone who joined us today.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.